Hello, I'm Simon Pusey. This is your news at 2 o'clock. The Prime Minister will decide today whether or not to impose fresh restrictions to try and reduce the spread of Omicron across England. Boris Johnson is being briefed on the latest COVID data by Chief Medical Officer Professor Chris Whitty. He'll also consider the current levels of pressure on the NHS. The briefing follows new measures being introduced in Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland on Boxing Day. Now, this next story does contain some flashing images. New restrictions on hospitality have come into force in Scotland to try and stop the spread of Omicron. Nightclubs are to shut and social distancing will also return to bars, restaurants, gyms and theatres. Meanwhile, Northern Ireland has also introduced similar measures, including the rule of 6 when eating or drinking out and table service only.
No logic to it that people can see, and that worries me because we need clear, direct protection. People can understand, they know the science and they see the logic in them. What we need is clear direction from the Scottish Government, and what we need is support, economic support for those businesses that are suffering and those families who are suffering because of the impact of this wave of Omicron.
The Business and Energy Secretary is expected to meet with energy bosses later to address rapidly rising wholesale gas prices. The chief executives of major suppliers are likely to ask Kwasi Kwarteng for tax cuts and the relaxation of green levies. Many say they are paying more for gas than they can charge their customers. Since the start of September, more than 24 companies have gone bust. West Mercia Police has formally apologised to the family of ex-professional footballer Dalian Atkinson over his death. The 48-year-old, who played for Aston Villa, died in 2016 after PC Benjamin Monk kicked him in the head at least twice and then tasered him 3 times. Monk was convicted of manslaughter and jailed for 8 years in June. Chief Constable Pippa Mills said a police uniform does not grant officers immunity to behave unlawfully or abuse their powers. The Metropolitan Police are investigating a video linked to a man arrested at Windsor Castle on Christmas Day whilst carrying a crossbow. The video, obtained by the Sun newspaper, shows a masked figure addressing the camera and appearing to make threats toward the Queen. Police say the suspect has been sectioned under the Mental Health Act. Head teachers are worried that pupils isolating because of COVID-19 could miss their A-level and GCSE mock exams at the start of the term. The Association of School and College Leaders says the mocks are more high stakes this year as they could be used as backup exams if they get cancelled. Almost 10 million children are due to return to school next week. Schools may have to consider a mix of remote and in-class learning if they don't have enough staff to cover classes. More than 165,000 workdays have been lost by Police Scotland due to mental health issues. The data, which was recorded between 2019 and 2020, shows that staff and officers suffered a range of issues, including alcohol problems, anxiety and depression. During that time, 68 police officers retired early due to mental ill health. The Scottish Liberal Democrats are now calling for annual staff surveys to identify problems more quickly and to provide support. The Texas lawyer who successfully argued landmark abortion rights case in the United States has died at the age of 76. Sarah Weddington was just 26 when she brought a class action lawsuit on behalf of a pregnant woman. She argued the Roe versus Wade case before the High Court twice, resulting in the legalization of abortion worldwide. The jury in the sex trafficking trial of Ghislaine Maxwell will resume deliberations today. The British socialite is on trial in the US, accused of luring young girls to be molested by Jeffrey Epstein. The jury last sat on Wednesday before breaking for the Christmas holidays. Miss Maxwell denies all of the charges. And the director and producer Jean-Marc Vallée, known for Big Little Lies and Dallas Buyers Club, has died at the age of 58. The Emmy Award winner passed away suddenly in his cabin just outside of Quebec City in Canada. Mr. Vallée was acclaimed for his naturalistic approach to filmmaking, directing stars including Reese Witherspoon, Nicole Kidman and Matthew McConaughey. Well, that's just about it from us for now. You can get more news on our website, of course. You can follow me on Twitter too. I'm at Si Pusey. I'll be back in around an hour's time with the latest headlines. Now time for Holiday Kitchen.
It's time to remind ourselves there's always another winter. Canary Islands sponsors the weather.
Looking ahead to this afternoon in the UK's, guess what? Cloudy in the south with rain moving east, but drier and brighter in the north. Let's take a look at that in detail. The southwest will be mostly cloudy this afternoon with limited brighter spells for some. There'll be showers. These will be locally heavy at times and a brisk west or southwesterly breeze. The southeast will be wet with persistent, at times heavy rain. The odd dry spell is possible for a time and it will be mild. South Wales will be cloudy with outbreaks of rain. These will also turn heavy at times. It'll be breezy here but also feel mild. The northwest of England will also be mostly cloudy with hill fog lingering. Then patchy outbreaks of rain will gradually edge in from the south later in the day, feeling milder than of late. North East England will be drier, although still rather cloudy. Some bright or sunny spells are possible towards the north through the afternoon, with some outbreaks of rain possible in the south later. There'll be a chillier feel for those of us in southern Scotland. It will also be a rather cloudy day, but the odd bright or sunny spell remains possible. Northern Ireland will be a little milder, but also rather cloudy. The odd shower is also possible, along with a few brighter spells in the east. It'll be rather breezy too. Remaining dry and clear in the north, the rain elsewhere edging east with showers following in the west. And that is how the weather is shaping up for the rest of the day.
Canary Islands sponsors the weather.
Hello and welcome to our GB News Christmas special. I'm Esther McVeigh.
And I'm Tonya Buxton, and we are lucky enough to be at Casa Zilli, where Chef Aldo is going to show us how to make the perfect Christmas lunch, full of tips and hints to make sure yours goes perfectly too.
We'll also be looking back at 2021 and also looking forward to 2022.
So Aldo, let's get cooking.
Tonya, Esther, you are such a beautiful ladies, and I am so honoured to have you at Casa Zilli kitchen.
This is why we love Italians.
This is it.
There you go, you see.
Give it some.
Buongiorno, I should have said.
Buongiorno.
Come va? Come va?
Sì,
Buon
sì,
Natale.
bene, bene.
Buon Natale. Merry Christmas, first
Buon
of all.
Natale.
Today is Christmas, so let's cook turkey.
And talk turkey.
And talk turkey. But you know, lots of people get really stressed out about their Christmas lunch, don't they? But simple things can just make sure that it just goes really well. So what's the first thing you do in the morning when you wake up?
Tonya, you know, as chefs, every year we have to do 200 programs on television about the turkey.
Yeah.
The main event, what to do with it, how to cook it, how long for. So 40, just to quickly, 40 minutes per kilo. That's the first thing to remember for the turkey.
Done.
I've got one in the oven that's been in there for 3 hours. And what I do is I cook it for 3 hours upside down, and then I take it out and I'll show you all the rest of it.
And what all of us non-cooks, unlike you two, what us non-cooks want to know is how do you make sure it doesn't go dry?
This is
Here we go.
the first thing. Here you go.
We've got some vegetables here. We've got some carrots, onions, leeks, and celery.
You got a bit of garlic in there.
All here, some garlic,
And
yes.
what I like is you've kept the garlic in the skins. Why have you done that?
Because it stays nice and moist, and in the end it just flavors the food, but you don't need it. Yeah, so this, Tonya, eventually will be my gravy.
That's going to be the base of the gravy. All the
Yes.
flavours are coming from
And
there.
you kept the garlic in its skin. Now, for us like lay people who don't cook, that's so your garlic doesn't burn. Because
Yes.
burnt garlic is a bad
it's a
meal.
no-go area. Okay, we've got this lovely bird here, 4 kilograms.
Lovely.
What we're going to do is we've got some butter, which what we've done with this butter is we softened it a bit, and then we chopped lots of herbs, sage, rosemary, and thyme. We just sort of made a butter flavored with all herbs and sea salt.
Sage, rosemary, and thyme are the Christmas flavours, especially sage, aren't they? So
I
you've
think-
got
I
to
think
get
so.
some. Whatever happens, you've got to get some sage into that, and you've just
So
shove it in deeply.
So make sure you go from the neck in, okay, under the
And
skin.
a little hint is if you're struggling, isn't it, to get the skin away from the flesh, is get a spoon, a blunt spoon.
Well, if you've got long nails, like my ladies here today,
Not me.
Not cookie nails.
okay, not you, but you have.
I know.
So
Haven't got
that's
my
why
cookie-
I didn't ask you to do this.
Thank you, Aldo.
Otherwise, you get a spoon, like
Yeah,
you
you
said.
get a spoon and gently ease the skin away from the
And
flesh.
Aldo, you do a lot of cooking for people who are dairy-free. So can they still do a similar
Of course, there's
butter
a lot of
filling, but
Oh
not butter?
yes, on the market now for dairy-free people, there's loads of ingredients. There's a load of replacement for butter
Yeah.
and olive oil.
Yeah.
It's a great friend.
Because being Italian traditionally, it would have been olive oil.
Olive
right?
oil, yeah, being
it's all olive
Italian
oil.
tradition. Yeah, but I think in Italy they do this now.
Yeah.
They stuff the turkey, but they put this butter with lots of herbs under the skin. Anyway, so under the skin, on top of the skin.
And just to say that all of this butter and all the turkey juices are going to melt into the veg, cook the veg, and that is going to make the best gravy.
But
Yes.
but this is a nice moist turkey, moist gravy, everything's going on in
You're
here.
liking the moist,
I tell
aren't
you,
you, Esther?
I'm liking the gravy.
And then what we're going to do is we're going to put some lemons, orange, and onions. You don't want to put the stuffing inside the turkey because it might not cook right, and it might.
Can I just say, this is what I would always have done, is put a stuffing in the turkey. You're saying no, don't do the stuffing. Look at you. No, Esther. No stuff in there, but you're putting in lemon,
oranges,
lemon,
And
what
I'm-
else?
onions,
And
in
I'm
there,
massaging
to
my
flavour it
bird.
all.
I do like a massage the birds. I can feel that turkey going, please, my neck.
The reason that you don't put stuffing in the bird is because it stops it from cooking beautifully. It stops it from the air going around. So I know that, old shows always used to stuff the bird. It's not the best way to do it. And that's why Aldo's doing it this way, because this way
It's
it's
so
going to be
good
flavoured.
to have another chef in the kitchen. You know that? I mean, and that speaks English as well. Very few people can understand what I'm talking about.
So now what are you doing, Aldo?
Now,
You're not going to put it like that, are you?
This is the bit where you need to do this, actually, because I
is the
love
moistness.
cooking it this way.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's
So
what keeps it moist.
everything now is falling into those breasts, and the turkey is going to cook beautifully.
Because I wouldn't traditionally, I would have had it that the legs were on the bottom. You're saying the legs on the top.
The part of the turkey that gets dry is the breasts, because that's got the least fat.
I'm gonna
in
wash
it.
my hands.
So by turning it upside down and cooking it that way round, it means that all the juices are in there, and all the juices, the butter, the juice that's coming from the veg, the stuff that's inside the cavities, all constantly keeping it moist.
That's why you're here today.
And obviously the giblets and the neck all goes in the same pot.
Because that's going to add more flavour.
Yeah, and then
I
love sage, so that's going in as an extra for me.
I like sage.
And a little bit of thyme.
What I love, Aldo, is that you've got this beautiful land here, and there are so many herbs. So just now, when you needed thyme, you went out, you got some thyme, and that's amazing. Because it's quite difficult to grow certain herbs in Britain. So thyme works really well, rosemary works really well. Sage is not bad as well. So
Bay leaves are good.
Bay leaves are good. So the Christmas ones work really well, don't they?
The only thing I'm struggling to grow is basil. That needs
sun.
Needs sun. So in the summer it's not too much of a problem, but in the winter it's you need to grow it inside really. But anyway, so this is now my bird is ready to go in the oven.
Lovely.
All nicely
Really well
tightly
sealed.
covered.
Do you just do one layer of cling film, tin foil around aluminium foil? I've read in some recipe books to do 2 layers.
That's what I'm
you're
doing.
doing 2 layers.
There you go. You see, you knew it right. You
had me down as absolutely knowing nothing about cooking, but
And the thing is, to do things the day before a Christmas, it's crucial. Get ready, get prep as much as possible. You know, we got carrots here, parsnips, we got cabbage, we got
celeriac.
Potatoes to mash, we got celeriac. So everything is
all you're peeling the day before. You don't lose any of the nutrients because you're going to have to leave them in water then overnight if you've done it the day
then
before.
you cook them in the same water.
Okay, so it doesn't matter.
Can I go?
Yes, go on.
Should I help you?
Wouldn't want
Just
to stop a man in the kitchen.
One goes in, one goes out.
There we go.
What can possibly go wrong
And that
here?
smells
Magic.
incredible.
Right, so the main event is here. This has been in the oven for 3 hours, upside down, breast down. Now we're going to turn it the other way and put it back in the oven with some pancetta.
Wow.
Look at that.
I think this turkey is ready, my friend.
I think you're right.
So here we go. Turn my baby round. So we're going to blast it back in the oven with some pancetta on top. And we're going to put the vegetables on the stove to cook. And then we're done.
That looks good. So the turkey's been in the oven for 3 hours. You've turned the bird over. And now are you giving a little dressing to
I've
the
dressed
breast?
it with some pancetta. And now I'm just going to blast it to cook the pancetta on the outside, nice and crispy. Bring it out. Now the mistake everybody makes is to eat the turkey too early. The turkey's been in the oven for 3 hours. You rest it for 3 hours.
Yep. And do you know what's really, really good about that? Is that you can then take the turkey, rest it for 3 hours,
And then
you've
do
got a
everything
lovely
else.
free oven
And how
for your
important?
potatoes and everything.
How important was the sage that you just did 2 little pieces of sage on
yeah.
top?
It's flavour.
Important.
Yes.
It's all flavour.
It's all flavour.
Flavour.
We're building flavors here.
Right, let me help
And
you.
it smells, you know, the smell of sage. As soon as you put it on heat, it just smells beautiful. Thank you.
There
We all need a Tony in the kitchen.
we go. There we go.
There we go. Now turn the oven to 200.
Nice and high. So just
Nice
really
and
just
high.
cook off that pancetta, that bacon,
that's
whatever
it.
you're using. What's next?
Turkey's in the oven. Now the last half an hour is time for you to get yourself prepped with everything else. So I've got some celeriac and mashed potato. Very, very good combination. Great marriage. Even better than mine. Parsnips. Roasted parsnips with a little bit of honey, which we'll do in a minute. This is the mash, but the mash is actually not going with my turkey. My turkey is going to go with goose fat roasted potatoes. Okay? So we got carrots here with honey, star anise, and butter. All of this are going onto the stove here now. All of this is going to be cooked. Now I'm going to make my stuffing. I've got all my ingredients here, so we're going to mix them in this bowl. A little bit of sage here. Can you pass me the knife, darling? Grazie. When you buy knives also, this is a chopping knife. It's got a little gap there for your finger to chop, okay? This is a filleting knife. It's really thin and very, very sharp for filleting. Just different knives for different use in the kitchen. And keep them really, really sharp all the time.
Yeah.
And don't look at other people when you're chopping.
Yeah, see? I can't do that. I can't do that. It's been, I've tried and tried and tried. I cannot do it. So that's why I always say I'm a cook and he's a chef.
Yeah, to be honest, I keep my eyes closely on the knife, see what's happening there. I don't want to take it. Aldo, can I just ask you a question? You talked about the sausage meat there with fennel, Italian sausage meat. Right, so how do you get it? Do you buy them sausage meat and chop the fennel in? Do you buy sausages and squeeze it out? How do you get it?
Just get the best quality sausage you can find.
And then squeeze the meat
it
out from inside. Okay, I
100%.
can do that.
You can find in supermarkets. No, there's everything is in the supermarket nowadays. You can cheat however you
But
want.
also you can get, if you want to get specialist stuff like Italian sausages or Mediterranean, wherever you're getting.
Everything's online.
Online now, you can get whatever you like. So you're not just, if you live in a little village and you can't get things from your local, you can, for these special events, maybe order them in. Because it does make a difference. Because fennel in the sausage meat, it just makes it, doesn't it?
When you're doing things like this is a stuffing for your turkey. You know, it's really important. We're messing around with people's Christmas here.
Yeah.
You know, you've got to
do it right.
You've got to do it right. And also, you're inviting this year. Hopefully, you know, we're going to have everyone together again.
Yes.
So it's going to be. We haven't had this. And also, the ingredients are, you know, the apples raw, onions raw, because this is all going in the oven. So, so these are beautifully made. Now, I'm going to put them in the oven. Gloves off.
How long would you put these in the oven for, Aldo?
Don't forget, it's raw pork.
Yes.
So it needs to be cooked properly. So I would put this in the oven for half an hour, 25 minutes, half an hour.
Yeah,
At
and I
least.
don't mind if it gets a bit. I like a crispy.
Bit crispy.
So yeah,
it's
40,
actually
even
better.
40. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So in the oven, put the oven in 180, 190 in there.
Right, let me
Okay?
hear you clear.
Now we have a
let me
little bit
help
of
you
clear up.
You're watching GB News live across the UK and the world on our digital stream.
GB News is Britain's news channel.
We are the UK's home of discussion and debate from all perspectives.
We are here for you. Don't forget to join our YouTube community by clicking on that subscribe button.
And if you want the GB News app, you can click and catch up on programmes anytime.
We love to hear from you, so email us.
gbviews@gbnews.uk.
Thanks for being part of the GB News family.
My name is Andrew Doyle. Join me every Sunday evening at 7 p.m. for Free Speech Nation. This is a show where we address current affairs and news stories of the week with the help of two wonderful comedian panellists. I brought in comics because I want to give it a lighter edge, and also they work for less. See you there.
Join my show Farage, 7 p.m. till 8 p.m. Monday through Thursday, and there you will get opinion, analysis, debate, and I'll cover stories that nobody else dares to touch. And then for the last 15 minutes, talking pints. We're over a drink. We have a civilised conversation with someone. We very often disagree, but we do it in a grown-up way. Come and join me on Farage. I'm Colin Brazier. I've reported from more than 70 countries around the world, covered wars from Afghanistan to Iraq, from Lebanon to the Balkans. I'm trying to bring that experience, that feel for events, to the studio. And something else. I'm ready to give an opinion. Today's stories with a spark. Brazier from 8 p.m. weekdays on GB News.
Join us for Political Correction. We're here every Sunday to correct politics and put you, the people, back in charge.
We talk about all areas of the United Kingdom, including Northern Ireland.
Our debate goes way beyond the Westminster Village. It's about the real country. It's about your opinion. So please, we want you to tell us what you think.
This is Political Correction.
Every Sunday morning from 10 a.m. here on GB News.
You're watching GB News live across the UK, the world, and our digital stream.
GB News is Britain's news channel.
We are the UK's home of discussion and debate from all perspectives.
We're here for you. Don't forget to join our community by hitting the subscribe button.
And download the GB News app so you can click and catch up on programmes anytime.
We love to hear from you. Email us at gbviews@gbnews.uk.
Thanks for being part of the GB News family.
So Brussels sprouts is a really big thing, okay? I personally am not a fan. You love them, don't you?
I love sprouts.
So when I make Brussels sprouts, I think I do very similar to Aldo's. I do everything I can to disguise the smell of sprouts by adding pancetta, which will do it perfectly.
and chestnuts.
Yeah. So what do you do with your sprouts?
Okay, so now the cooking of the sprouts. You can leave this until the last 10 minutes because I like to cook these and eat them.
Straight away.
I don't like boiling them and leaving them sogging, horrible, sprouty. No. These are cut in half, baby sprouts, okay? You can eat these as they are, raw, like this. Very nice and very good for you, by the way, sprouts.
Yeah,
you know, this is a massive cabbage reduced into a little one. So now, pancetta is probably a good ingredient for you.
Oh, why is that?
Because isn't it
dairy-free?
Yeah, so I'm not going to put butter in it.
Yeah.
So this is good for you.
Oh,
There's
good.
enough
This has
fat
got its
in
own
the
fat.
pancetta and in the meat.
This has got its own fat, and you know, when you render the fat on a pancetta, I put it in a cold pan, put it in onto the stove, and let the pancetta come slowly. A lot of people make the mistake of putting it in a very, very hot pan, put the pancetta in and burn it, and then you don't get any flavor, you don't get nothing. So this is the best way of doing it. Let it cook together.
So you've got pancetta, you've got sprouts, and what's the other ingredient?
Mini cabbage.
Yeah.
And then we've got some chestnuts. It's Christmas. You know, I mean, you don't have to put chestnuts in.
No, but it adds to
It's
the
entirely up
texture,
to you.
it adds
But
to the flavour,
I
it's lovely.
I am such a big fan of chestnuts. In Italy, on the sides of the road, now in this time of year, you see all these barbecues with chestnuts, full
Yeah.
of chestnuts.
Yeah,
They
love
open
those.
that lid and you go near it and it's like amazing. Well, I did that in London, on a market in London not long ago. And I went there, I got a bag of chestnuts, £3, and they were all raw.
Oh, they didn't cook them well.
Raw, they weren't cooked. They have to burn the outside, they have to really cook the inside. Otherwise it's like,
Well, chestnuts cooking on an
open fire.
See, it's Christmas.
There you go.
That's not me. They haven't had anything to drink yet.
They haven't had anything to drink yet. Can you
Promise you,
get
the champagne is still in the fridge.
Yeah, the important word there, Aldo, was yet.
Yet.
So it is happening.
So this is going on my stove.
And on a nice low heat, so it cooks nice and slowly through,
100%.
right? Yeah. In the meantime, whilst that's cooking, and that's literally 10 minutes before, what are you doing to your other veg?
I think we need to talk about these lovely potatoes.
Oh, yeah.
Haven't
Okay.
we? Without potatoes, where would we be?
No, I mean, there's the whole thing is in our family is who gets the best roasted potatoes.
I did make some potatoes this morning, but unless someone's eaten them, I can't see them on the
here.
on the
What did
table
we do with
here.
them? Here we go.
Oh, there they are.
Here
Look,
we go. Coming
the
through.
cameraman had them very close to his camera. My roast potatoes in goose fat. Before roasting, little blanch, not too much actually. But what I do is I put the garlic inside.
Into the water.
Into the water. Sort of boil the garlic with the potatoes, if you like, and then put them in the potatoes inside the oven, so it flavors. And I put the herbs in, the rosemary and the thyme, and then I take it all out. And these are just flavored now. Then you can't see burned rosemary. You know when you see burned rosemary,
I get
burned
that.
herbs. Nobody wants that. Burned garlic on Christmas Day. You don't want anything burned.
But isn't the trick, once you've parboiled them a little bit, but not too much, just blanch them, you have to shake them a little bit so they get a bit rough on the edges.
Yes.
Like these ones here, you
Like
can see
these,
them there.
look,
Yeah, perfect. So they're
like
a little
these
bit...
ones here. These
Yeah.
have just been sort of blanched, and look, the garlic has been inside with them. So these now, with some goose fat, go in the oven for 20 minutes. You blanch them, you boil them, and you think, oh my God, I've overboiled them. No. You put them in the oven, they come back alive again.
Exactly.
It's really, it's something that nobody really knows how.
It's a Christmas
what happens.
miracle out
But
there.
it's a miracle, exactly. You the miracles for me today.
But potatoes are really important. And also, you just said 20 minutes. The thing is, check you've got a really good hot oven, because if it's not hot, you've got to give yourself extra time. I'm saying that, I've been there, when everything else is ready.
190?
Yeah, 190, nice and high. Give them a shake halfway through so they get that lovely crispiness.
Oh, yes.
And then you're done. Well, here you go. Here's your roasting dish. We've got some lovely goose fat there.
Obviously, you know, if you're doing this at home, it's Christmas Day, and you're cooking for 20 people, don't take any notice of this, because we're cooking only for us here, for 3 of us. But normally on Christmas Day, people cook for a lot more than 3 people.
Yeah.
But goose fat, the most important thing here now is you don't want to put the potatoes straight in there. You've got to put this in the oven.
Yeah.
This has got to be smoky.
Nice and hot.
Okay.
Really nice.
So we put this in the oven for a bit.
Because if you don't do that, then they won't be crispy. They'll get soggy and they'll suck in all the fat. So the oil needs to be nice and hot to make sure it crisps up the outside.
Yeah, we're going to leave that in the oven for not long at all, and then we bring it out, put the potatoes in that we've blanched, put them in, and then roast.
Perfect.
For
Absolutely
20 to 25 to half an hour. Okay, the goose fat is now nice and hot. Almost boiling hot. Very, very careful with this, by the way, everyone. You can leave the oven open, because I'm going to go back in it. And now you drop the potatoes in. Okay. There you go. And the garlic
goes in as well.
In the jacket, the garlic, so that you can squeeze it at the end and eat it.
Oh,
mamma mia.
That's so good. That is so
And then
good.
the last 5-10 minutes, I like to add my rosemary and thyme, because otherwise it burns. Okay, off we go. Now these sprouts here are doing a great job.
Brilliant. It smells amazing.
I'm the biggest tosser in town.
So what are the Italian specialities you do for Christmas?
In Italy, they make dough to make some bread on Christmas Day. So I've got something here that I made some pizza dough.
But those that don't make dough, Can you buy the ready-made one and do what you're going to do now?
100%. You can buy this already made, you leave it in the fridge overnight, and then the next day it will turn into something like this. It's like double the size.
Yeah, it's
then
puffed
what
up.
you do, bring it all together, get it off the tray completely, but don't add flour now at this point, okay? So basically you're reworking the dough.
How many times do you have to rework the dough?
3 times.
3 times.
So now what we do is we rework it like this, then we pick it up. Look at these bubbles. Look, they're all going to be so important because this is going to be so light. The more time you let it regrow or prune, if you like, the more light it becomes, and it's like fluff at the end. Okay. So
And
some
this is
olive oil.
Focaccia style bread,
Focaccia
right?
style, yes.
Yeah,
But it's bread. You can put anything on this. Tuck it in like this. Put some olive oil so it doesn't stick. Some olive oil on top of it. Some sea salt. Cover it with cling film, and this needs to double the size again. Then you knock it back again, and you leave it to go over, double the size again. Then you knock it back, and you cover it with whatever flavor you want in the oven, and it'd be the fluffiest bread ever. Okay. And now what happens here? We cover this with cling film. We let it grow again, double the size.
In a nice warm kitchen,
In
somewhere
a nice
nice
warm
and
kitchen
warm.
like this one.
Yeah.
Cling film done. Done. That's it. That's now going to be somewhere warm near the stove.
And that's a lovely Italian twist on a English Christmas, isn't
That's
it?
a
To have some
great
focaccia.
Italian twist on bread. The people normally will go and buy bread
Yeah.
on Christmas
So-
Day. Nothing wrong with it, but hey.
The other thing that people do is that they buy ready pigs in blankets already made for them, but that's crazy. So you're gonna quickly show us how you make yours.
150% I'm going to show you. These are little sausages, cipollata. Again, fennel inside. It's got lovely, lovely flavors, which I love. But, you know, if you don't love these flavors, just get yourself some pigs in blanket.
Everyone should be trying to go local. If you've got a local butcher,
Exactly,
go to them
exactly.
and ask them to make you sausages. Normally they do, actually.
So what we do is we chop some sage, right? And talk at the same time to all your friends around the kitchen like this. Okay?
It stresses me out.
And then what we do, look, these are simple rolled
Plain
in
ones,
pancetta, okay? Not bacon, pancetta. I mean, you can wrap it in bacon if you want.
You can, but pancetta's got more fat and it's thinner, isn't
But
it? So it's
pancetta for
easier.
me just has that bit
Extra
of...
smokiness.
Yeah, it's the pork belly, you know. But when you make carbonara, everybody uses pancetta. No, guanciale, cheek.
Cheek, oh
of
really?
of the pig, not the belly.
Ah.
Okay, so but carbonara comes from Rome. Carbonari were the coal miners that had chickens. They had chickens and pigs. So those are the 2 ingredients for carbonara: eggs and pancetta.
I didn't know that.
And pecorino cheese from Rome.
Not parmesan, pecorino.
Pecorino cheese.
Okay, so there you know.
So that's just a little tip for
Thank
if you're
you.
making
It's a little-
carbonara this Christmas. So now look, I'm going to do a little variation here with sage. So this little pig.
Went to market.
Yeah. She's in there already.
This little pig, I got it from the market.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to do a little sage pigs in blanket. Okay, this Christmas, you guys need to try these because this Christmas will change your life.
When I'm cooking for turkey for a lot of the kids, I've noticed that they don't actually eat the turkey that I've put so much effort in. All they want are the pigs in blankets. So I always do extra pigs in blankets.
Well, Twiggy, my 13-year-old, she's not big on eating meat at all, actually. I don't know why, but she's not big on white meat either. You know, she has a bit of chicken here and there, but when it comes to Christmas, she sits down.
Pigs in
she
blankets.
wants a big plate of this.
That's it, yeah. So I said the kids love them. They
You
love
know?
pigs in blankets.
What
That's
is
true.
it with pigs in blanket? It's like, and these particular ones, you can, I dare you to serve them as a little canapé.
Oh, see, they're perfect. Bite
You know?
size, absolutely perfect.
Even if you cut
canapés,
them in
yeah.
half,
Yeah.
you know, you cook them and then you cut them in half, perfetto for a little canapé. Okay,
And
I
they're
think
nice
I've done
and
enough
easy.
pigs in blanket here.
Okay, there's enough there.
Now we're going to put
and
them
again,
like
they
this.
go in the oven. They're literally one of the last things to go in the oven because
Yeah.
they need what 15, 20 minutes
Max.
maximum. Okay.
I'm going to put them in the oven now.
Okay.
Okay, these. Can
So
be
we've talked a
delayed.
lot about Christmas favourites.
Yeah.
But what if you're the kind of person that just doesn't like the bird? What
Well,
do you do?
if you don't like the bird, then in Italy, okay, we're big on lamb. We're big on pig. Porchetta is another good
It's
thing.
the Greeks that are actually the lamb people, but they like to take it on too.
No, it's. Listen. Listen.
Hang on.
No, I've got to tell you something before you say
The
it.
Welsh lamb. We
Oh,
like
oh,
the
sorry,
lamb.
Well,
We like the
actually,
lamb.
you're right.
That's fair enough.
But listen to this, right? I used to have Tonya as my guest at my radio show in London. She claimed one day
Yeah.
that they invented pizza.
We did. The Greeks
The
did.
Greeks.
You did. We did.
How dare you?
What are we talking about? We took a bitter base to Napoli, and we taught the Italians how to make pizza.
Well, I think it all started in Liverpool with cheese on toast, if you don't mind me saying.
Oh God, forget it. We can't beat. We cannot beat Esther on that one.
Where's the pineapple? Okay,
So what do you have here?
We have a shoulder of lamb, a baby shoulder of lamb here, a small one, okay? Because I'm only cooking for a small family.
Right.
So this has been marinating in white wine rather than red wine. Lamb I prefer with white wine, it's lighter, it flavors the lamb unbelievably. So I stubbed it, I scored it, look.
Yeah.
Okay, so the flavors can go in.
Yeah.
And then what we do is we just start it with rosemary.
So this is the alternative lamb dish for Christmas.
Yeah.
This is, you know, you can do this with lamb, you can do this with beef. And now I'm going to put in this little holes
Pockets here, yeah.
I'm going to put some garlic in there or rosemary. And if you can fit it in, maybe an anchovy or two.
Is anchovies add all the flavour?
The anchovy is the seasoning. You don't need salt now because the anchovy is very salty. Okay, here we go. This pan, when you want to feel if the pan is hot enough, you just go like that, and it's got to be this height.
Yeah.
The height of the rim of the pan, you almost need to be feeling too hot, and that's it, it's ready. Okay, so I'm going to lift it with my hand. We're going to sear this on both sides. The rest of it, all my wine and my vegetables here, are going to go into this pan here and cook down, reduce down before I add my stock. Because I want the wine to sort of reduce and lose that alcohol flavor. So it's nice that you reduce the wine first. Even when you make a red wine sauce, it's always very good to reduce the red wine so that you get rid of all that horrible alcohol flavor. And then you sear the lamb on both sides really, really well because you want that meat to be seared. All the flavors are going to stay inside. All the marination you've done overnight, that's worth something now. Trust me, that is worth every penny that you bought that lamb for. All right, so these steps are really, really important. And also, what's really important is that wine that has been marinating, it's now in there reducing. So you've got to reduce that wine, get rid of the alcohol flavour. You know.
Just to reduce it down, thicken it up, sweeten it a bit, get rid of that kind of sharp alcohol hit to it.
Yes, and then at this
sweetens
point, I like to drop a little bit of sea salt in there and season it. Look at that. I mean, that to me looks good enough already to eat.
It does.
Okay, so that's seared in one side. Let's see the other side. Look at that. Look at that. Okay. The flavors are all, infusing that lamb. So you sear it on the other side, then you put it in a roasting tin. Stock. Now, for this particular dish, I actually like to use chicken stock because I think beef stock is too strong, and lamb stock I'm not happy with. So chicken stock, and the lamb itself is going to release all that lamb flavor anyway. So that's going to be with the vegetables, with the stock and the wine, covered in the oven for at least 4 hours.
You said to put it in the oven for at least 4 hours, but you can have it for longer. You can have it all day if you like, as long as it's nice and low, right? About 150?
About 150.
Yeah.
You're watching GB News live across the UK and the world on our digital stream.
GB News is Britain's news channel.
We are the UK's home of discussion and debate from all perspectives.
We are here for you. Don't forget to join our YouTube community by clicking on that subscribe button.
And if you want the GB News app, you can click and catch up on programmes anytime.
We love to hear from you, so email us.
gbviews@gbnews.uk.
Thanks for being part of the GB News family.
My name is Andrew Doyle. Join me every Sunday evening at 7 p.m. for Free Speech Nation. This is a show where we address current affairs and news stories of the week with the help of two wonderful comedian panellists. I brought in comics because I want to give it a lighter edge, and also they work for less. See you there.
Join my show Farage, 7 p.m. till 8 p.m. Monday through Thursday, and there you will get opinion, analysis, debate, and I'll cover stories that nobody else dares to touch. And then for the last 15 minutes, talking pints. We're over a drink. We have a civilized conversation with someone. We very often disagree, but we do it in a grown-up way. Come and join me on Farage.
I'm Colin Brazier. I've reported from more than 70 countries around the world, covered wars from Afghanistan to Iraq, from Lebanon to the Balkans. I'm trying to bring that experience, that feel for events, to the studio. And something else. I'm ready to give an opinion. Today's stories with a spark. Brazier from 8 p.m. weekdays on GB News.
So now the lamb's seared beautifully. You bring that over, I'll bring your stock over.
Che bello il mio agnello. Che bello il mio agnello. It rhymes as well.
What is che bello? Good looking.
Che bello means how beautiful is my lamb.
Beautiful. Absolutely
okay,
beautiful.
so out of this
I'm
pan
going to
now.
move this out the way.
Okay.
Out of this pan. Now, this pan is probably the most important thing about this lamb
For the
in this
flavours.
recipe. Look at that.
Right, so you're
You've got to
deglazing.
deglaze that pan because that pan's got the fat, that bit of fat of the lamb that's going to go back into the lamb. And then, darling, if you can bring the chicken stock.
Yes, bring the stock
Thank
over,
you.
absolutely. So you
Okay,
do-
Tonya, let's add little bits now, like a couple of
this is
more
just a bit more-
anchovies,
a
some
bit more
chicken
flavour.
stock.
Lovely.
Yeah.
And
It's
so
all
just
about
some more
flavour
stock in
now.
there.
Some more herbs,
A little bit more, huh?
some more garlic.
So halfway up the pan.
Yeah, go for it, go for it. Go, oh,
This
disaster.
smells so good already.
And we haven't cooked anything
We
yet.
haven't cooked it.
Imagine in 4 or 5 hours' time what this lamb, what's going to look like.
But it's literally gonna fall off the bone. It's gonna fall off and
Get
just
your
be amazing.
clefty cough. This is Aldo Zilli Agnello
Can I just
alla
inform you that
Romana.
everything the Italians do with lamb, they learned firstly from the Greeks. I'm not saying you didn't change
We've
the
learned
flavours a little
everything,
bit.
yes, we learned everything
but
from
it
you.
started with the Greeks.
Like we learned to make pizza in Naples, you know, margherita. Thank God we got the Greca.
Listen, you know it's true.
Margherita la Greca, I'm going to call you.
That's it.
See, the
I don't
good thing
mind.
is, as they argue between the two of them, I will do most of the eating. I'll do the eating as they battle out who
Right.
came up
Goodbye,
with
lamb,
the
for another
recipe
3 hours,
first.
4 hours.
There we are.
Here we go. On he goes.
Perfect.
Lamb in the oven.
Right, so
Now,
there's one really important thing about the Christmas meal that we haven't done yet.
The gravy.
The gravy.
the groovy gravy.
You've got the bottom of where the turkey was cooked. So we've got the veg, we had onions, we had celery, we have carrots.
Look at these.
Garlic.
Just so good.
Look
We had
at
some
that. That
garlic
is-
in there, and you've got the giblets, you've got the neck that you can still see there.
That's worth
That's
a couple
it.
of £100.
It really is. That is what
If
makes
you
it,
ask
isn't
me.
it? So what are you doing to make your gravy?
Right, now I'm going to make it worth even more. I'm going to add some chicken stock. Okay. I'm
Now,
gonna
if you
add
were doing this, you'd do
some
this on top of the hob and you do it with
Yeah.
a bit of heat coming through.
fresh cranberries or cranberry sauce, but I don't have any cranberry sauce.
But you know, you do.
Oh, ma baby, ma proprio ma cranberry sauce, ma quando sei brava.
I bought you a little present. I made this for you last night. Here
Oh
you go.
my
This is my
goodness
cranberry.
me.
And I need you to taste it and tell me your thoughts.
Wow, look at this orange peel in it. Look at this. Oh, it's Christmas, finally.
Lovely. There you go. Tell me
Merry
your thoughts.
Christmas.
Thank you. Merry Christmas to you, Aldomo. Oh, God.
Ugh.
Oh, you see, I knew he was going to do that.
It's amazing. It's amazing, but I need another spoon now
Now
because
you
I
do.
can't double dip.
Okay, no double dipping.
Yes,
Because this is
I've-
quite tart, sweet, and it's got cinnamon
Yeah.
sticks and cinnamon
What
in there.
have you got in here?
That's a big old cinnamon stick.
Wow. Shall I put it in there?
Put it in there for the gravy, absolutely.
Okay,
Like
well,
it, that- Oh, it's a lot of gravy.
I'm taking your lead now.
There we go.
Okay, bit of flour.
That was a lot of cranberry.
Sweet
gonna be sweet.
gravy now.
Now I need some red vino that has been reducing.
Here we go, I've got that for you here. So that's been on the heat, reducing again. And the reason you reduce is to take away that alcoholic
Flavour.
edge. Shall I pour in?
Yes, please.
I'll put
Grazie.
it when it
You
comes
got to
that
do
way
something.
around.
Maybe,
You've got to sing
Maybe.
for your supper.
maybe half of that. Go on, keep going, keep going.
You keep telling me when.
Keep going, keep going, keep going. This looks like a bit of a mess at the moment.
It does, but
once it's done,
It's going to
that's
taste
it. That's
amazing.
enough. Thank you. That's now going to go on the stove and cook down, and keep stirring it, cooking it, and then what you do at the end is you sieve it
Sieve it.
and cook it again for about 10 minutes. Reduce it again, and that is your best gravy that you probably have this Natale, which is Christmas.
All I can say, I know at home you can't get the smells through the TV, but that smells magnificent.
Christmassy.
Christmassy,
And very
magnificent.
It's a cranberry sauce.
It's the cinnamon in my cranberry sauce. So while Aldo finishes off the gravy and carves the turkey and serves us the potatoes, I think that Esther and I are ready for a little glass of something.
And reapply our lipstick.
Red, white, champagne, or Negroni. Do you want me to make you a Negroni?
Should we have a quick Negroni?
Quick
Right,
Negroni.
Come on,
Come
quick
on.
Negroni.
The
Let's do
ingredients
it.
are
Let's do
right
it.
here,
Come on,
look.
grab it in. Let's
Some
grab all
ice,
the
please.
ingredients.
Give me some ice, quick.
Come on, we've got a crew here that can
Where's the
chuck in
bottles
ice.
gone? Where are my bottles gone? 2 glasses, come on.
Come on, we can
This
do
is
this.
ready, steady, cook now.
Yeah, that's it.
I'm
Come
there.
on.
Done, ready, steady, cook. Come on, we can do this.
Slice me some oranges.
Oh, I've got
That's here
Orange.
we go. Orange, here we go. Let me just use this knife.
Okay.
So you want slices, right?
Negroni. Let's talk about the ingredients that go in the Negroni. Campari, in. Gin, in. Equal measures, remember, equal measures. Vermouth, in. Red.
Oh my God.
Equal measures, okay? This is, yes.
Do you want some orange
There's
juice
no
as well?
room for any soft drinks in this drink, okay? We need 2 shot glasses, please. Behind there's some shot glasses.
I'll get them.
Do you want me to
Someone
shake
get
it?
them.
I'll get them.
Now you can do the shaking.
I'm doing the
shake,
shaking.
shake, shake. Come on.
Shake, shake,
Let's
shake.
have a sip of Negroni. 2 shot glasses. And hey, look at that. She's shaking the Negroni
Don't
all
worry.
over the shop.
Right, come
The
on.
top came off the Negroni, mamma mia. Oh, God help us. Chaos, chaos. Let's go. Whoa, uno.
Wow.
Due. Look at that.
I
Oh
will
my God.
toast.
Look at this. Look at this.
This.
Look at this. This is the money shot. Look at that cocktail. Bellissimo. This is going to change my
It's going to change your
Christmas.
Christmas.
Life.
It's going to change your Christmas.
My
it is.
Christmas is completely different with this. Groovy gravy.
Groovy gravy.
This is the new word for gravy.
Groovy.
It's the groovy gravy.
There we go, serve me. Thank you. Lovely.
I don't know about you, but I'm quite looking forward to eating
Oh, I
something.
really am looking forward to it. The stuffing's amazing. Really good.
It's good.
Opa. Okay, so normally, because I'm not the biggest sprout fan, I would overcook my sprouts and then I would put a pancetta and sage butter on top. But I'm going to do it this way this year.
Really?
I am.
Oh my God. I don't, you know what? My Tonya does what I did.
There we go.
It's good enough for me.
That makes me happy too.
If it's good enough for Tonya Bucks, it's good enough for me, trust me.
And that stuffing is divine. We'll all be copying the stuffing.
Yes.
So,
yes.
but Aldo, what kind of year has 2021 been for you? What's happened? What have you had to do? Have you done things differently? What's been going on?
Well, 2020 was pretty bad, and I thought 2021 can't get much worse. But 2021, I've recreated my brand again, the Aldo Zilli brand, because, you know, I mean, in the pandemic, everything kind of went a bit pear-shaped. So I had to rethink my business. I had to do a business plan to carry on, and instead of doing takeaways and deliveries, in 2020 was very, very popular. I had to rethink how I'm going to carry on and do business
and
from home.
It's been a bad year for so many people, and the
Hospitality.
hospitality, it's been so difficult. So you went first of all in 2020 to do delivery, to change things,
Takeaways.
and then 21 you've done this spectacular at home.
At home with Aldo, it's been very, very successful. I mean, we've had some really amazing people here dining, and people come here to make memories for the experience.
So it's not just about the food, is it? It's about sitting in these beautiful pods with these beautiful lights and the whole experience. It's the drama and the theatre of eating well.
And we're in the middle of nowhere.
In the middle of nowhere.
You know, I mean, it was a touch and go for me with the council to get a liquor license, to get an alcohol license. But once I got alcohol license, everybody now is like, they can drink a great wine with the great food, and that's what you want. You know, you go and have great
So
food.
what I
and
want
great
to say,
wine.
where you're sitting,
where I'm sitting
Tonya,
right
earlier
here.
this month you were making dinner for Dame Judi Dench for a birthday.
Yes, she's been a big, big friend and fan for years in Zilli Fish in Soho, and when she discovered that I lived near her,
that was it.
she was like, and then she said to me before she left, she said, "Don't you think you're going to get rid of me? Because I will be back next week," and she's already booked for next week.
Wow.
So yeah,
So
she's
that's lovely, isn't it?
It's
That's just
great.
really-
It's great.
But who else are you most proud of cooking for? Especially in this past difficult year.
I've cooked for people that have turned up here in helicopters. They've just landed just here.
Oh, the life that some lead.
A lot of people come in helicopters here because they can land in my field just here. So they eat.
Tonya, they could have had the G7 here,
Yeah,
couldn't they?
They could have done. And then they eat and they go. We've had people in Woodland doing woodland experiences in the pandemic because mental health is a big thing for us. We decided to do that for people that wanted to come here with their families. So we take them around the woodlands. We do a bit of foraging.
I love. See, that is what I love: foraging and then cooking with what you foraged.
Exactly.
What an amazing experience.
Do you know what, Tonya? I've got no idea about foraging.
Really?
And I got this forager, local forager, and he took me around my own woodland, and I can't tell you how many things we come back with.
So what have you got? So it's
We've got
mainly mushrooms.
We had mushrooms for starters that I didn't know
So
nothing
you've got mushroom
about.
soup to start, and what else?
We came back with ortica, which is nettle. So we did tempura nettle. We did a tempura risotto. So we've got flowers in there that you can eat. We've got mushrooms, as I said, and I'm looking for truffles at the moment.
Yes, it's truffle hunting. I was
That's
just going
my
to
next-
say that.
that's my next
That's
thing.
the big find.
But talking of 2021, big year for lots of different people. I mean, first off, the royal family. I mean, this is where we've seen Harry and Meghan no longer a part of the working royal family. But you've done, again, lots of cooking for the royal family as well.
Yeah, I mean, Prince Edward was one of my regulars in Soho when I had restaurants. Then I'm a patron of Centrepoint, which is a homeless charity, because I was a homeless myself when I was younger. And
Well, don't brush over that. You were
Yes, you were
homeless yourself as a youngster. Go on, tell us that. What happened? You know, how?
well, how long have you got? Because this is a long story.
Well, give us the highlights or the lowlights or whatever you think.
It was so I was 17 and I was stupid enough to go to a different country with no money.
Okay.
I ended up with there was no phones in those days to call mum to send me more money, or there was no bank transfers. So I ended up with nothing, and I slept in phone boxes and petrol stations for about a month. And so I'm patron of the homeless charity in London, and so is Prince William, because Princess Diana was. Prince William is the same. He's taken over from Princess Diana. Obviously.
Did you meet with Princess
And then
Diana?
No, that's one of my biggest fan. I was one of the biggest fans of Princess Diana. I never got to meet her, but I met her son, which is he's an amazing person. And I told him that I can make a mean carbonara, and he said that his son loves carbonara. So you never know.
So is that
he might be here one day.
So is that George who loves it? So it's William that you've
Yeah.
been working
George,
with, and
yeah.
it's George who loves the carbonara.
Yeah, and then the next day he made it press. I don't know why. You tell the wrong people, and all of a sudden it escalates.
But it has been a big year for them. I mean, we all saw that Oprah Winfrey interview. Did you watch the Oprah Winfrey interview with Harry and Meghan?
I don't think anybody in this country hasn't watched it.
I mean, it kind of made my heart sink a little bit watching that, because I just feel there was something magical about the royal family, and that kept them a little bit a step away from us. And I like that. That's what I liked about the royals. When I think of the royals, I think of the Queen, and I think of the way she behaves. And I think this year, it must be a very sad and difficult year for her with all that's been coming out, and I don't think it's necessary.
Well, we'll be hearing it later, won't we? Or this week with the Queen's speech, so we'll know if it's been another Anna Horribilis and what she's hoping for next year. And it's a big year for her, 2022, isn't it?
Big one.
70 years on the throne.
Incredible. No, that's a work ethic. If you want to learn, when I think, I'm feeling tired and whatever, I think of the Queen.
70 years.
She's worked 70 years, and she's only recently taken a couple of days
I've only
off.
been 45 years on the throne. And I want to get off now.
So talking about people getting on a bit, we heard Captain Sir Tom Moore, 100 years old.
My kids are such big fans.
Yes, because
he raised 32 million for the NHS charities together, and he inspired so many people in lockdown. And there he was. Just a credit to the nation, wasn't it? It's why we're British. That's what we thought. We thought how much he'd done.
Absolutely.
Never give up.
I completely never give up. And on that note, never giving up. I'm not going to give up on this delicious meal, so I'm going to do a quick cheers to you.
And because you said that, I'm never going to give up cooking.
Oh,
never.
Aldo, never give up cooking.
Salute.
Cheers. Salute.
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 Buon Natale, Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas to you all.
You're watching GB News live across the UK and the world on our digital stream.
GB News is Britain's news channel.
We are the UK's home of discussion and debate from all perspectives.
We are here for you. Don't forget to join our YouTube community by clicking on that subscribe button.
And if you want the GB News app, you can click and catch up on programmes anytime.
We love to hear from you, so email us.
gbviews@gbnews.uk.
Thanks for being part of the GB News family.
My name is Andrew Doyle. Join me every Sunday evening at 7 p.m. for Free Speech Nation. This is a show where we address current affairs and news stories of the week with the help of two wonderful comedian panellists. I brought in comics because I want to give it a lighter edge, and also they work for less. See you there.
Join my show Farage, 7 p.m. till 8 p.m. Monday through Thursday, and there you will get opinion, analysis, debate, and I'll cover stories that nobody else dares to touch. And then for the last 15 minutes, talking pints. We're over a drink. We have a civilized conversation with someone. We very often disagree, but we do it in a grown-up way. Come and join me on Farage.
I'm Colin Brazier. I've reported from more than 70 countries around the world, covered wars from Afghanistan to Iraq, from Lebanon to the Balkans. I'm trying to bring that experience, that feel for events, to the studio. And something else. I'm ready to give an opinion. Today's stories with a spark. Brazier from 8 p.m. weekdays on GB News.
time to remind ourselves there's always another winter. Canary Islands sponsors the weather. Canary Islands sponsors the weather.
Welcome to GB News Live with Alex Phillips and Paul Hawkins. It's just gone 3 o'clock. Over the next hour, we'll get the latest from Scotland as the new COVID restrictions continue to hamper people over the festive period.
Yeah, and why hundreds of families affected by cancer in the northeast of England are today opening kindness kits. But first, here's the news.
Thanks, Alex. Yes, I'm Simon Pusey. This is your news